Mame fa na say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
Head obetimi dey I take decisions no. Now there was no way obetimi nya that numbers no. Amomo I make key and important decisions. So because of that the Speaker of Parliament can say wajene proceedings in the House indefinitely which I say ye name da Parliament best betana CBM and my room fi say few days or not say few weeks you be go into elections, and this 8th Parliament we na dwuma nyina be ba we so emere ni ho, but the activities and proceedings of Parliament has been suspended indefinitely, so we don't know when Parliament is coming back. I don't know, that is according to the Speaker. And one thing I'm for a lawyer, Speaker are instructing the lawyers to file processes our Supreme Court to challenge the decision by the Supreme Court Chief Justice in any team. But as it stands, the Speaker of Parliament, I'm making mention of it in the House. The Okan year has to do with they can transact business, but they cannot make key decisions, and for one or two reasons, he's postponing the activities inside the House indefinitely. So, and so monitor space now. There has been a number of discussions and so what I started here, I have expressed my opinion on a number of the issues. I'm free say Ghana your democracy baby the Supreme Court the revered institution among for free say your Supreme Court that is the apex court of the land, the higher the highest pinnacle of your fairness and judicial power reverence respect among forward to whatever that comes from that particular house but unfortunately we've gotten to a point Ghana for at the Supreme Court like people don't regard the Supreme Court anymore. Rulings and then as for every Supreme Court ever be constantly are being subjected to public ridicule and public mortification. And Tinano sa Twitter and I catch us trending number 1 a more trending number 2 unanimous FC and Ninina ya dia a denigrate your judiciary, which is the highest pinnacle of judicial power, and yet fair and yet dead. And me assure say we've been a Ghana democracy when you hear some of these things, you'll be worried. You might not like people in there who are aggressively doing politics, but it is the institution that belongs to Ghana. Because my men are the judges and the court they will not be there forever, because they will not be the first people to be at the Supreme Court. People have come. They've gone. So the sanctity of that institution, I believe, say, as people, we need to do everything to protect it. But if you look at what is happening in your Parliament House here, clearly you see, say, people have other agenda. They are they don't even care about public sentiment and the kind of concerns being expressed by the people, which to me is quite problematic. But this particular ruling, this attitude of the Supreme Court, is so shocking. Why many people think the judges are there doing the bidding of their paymasters, not working for the people of this country, has to do with and now what Dr. Kennedy said, the Supreme Court is more of a political institution doing political bidding, political activities instead of doing competent judicial work. And this is the reason. Mrebia court no be hu say ade bia ekwa sabi ebe interfere ewa ban nema oye say aban na ya de papa o onya de papa o, the Supreme Court will move in to defend and make sure say to more or less the Supreme Court na abaye as obi a or yet the dirty job for president and also for President Akufo-Addo. And in doing this, they leave in their wake a lot of intellectual deficit in the way a manner we expect to say a court of competent jurisdiction a tribal on reasoning, common sense and wisdom will not be doing some of these things. But unfortunately, because they are doing a pure politics some of these basic principles upon which every judicial decision be arrested on these key principles have been thrown to the dogs, and they are trampling on it with impunity while they leave the public in an hour of shock. Because sometimes you begin to wonder what the motivations are. First, say after marking at the case court. Now, Supreme Court are conventional, you don't very often see the Supreme Court sitting on Friday and bear less than 12 hours. Chief Justice Betimi appointed 5 judges among Mokotana Assembly, so through S party. Speaker, no cry, yada, Jina Yatina, Numa Sam. Naya Maho Kwan say, oh, your friend say, young suspended proceedings. And don't forget that this is the first time in the history of this country, Speaker of Parliament. I'm making declaration. And you ruling no a declaration or making not Supreme Court. I must stay of executions as some now cano. I'm fantarana no me and no now manning juma until say on better so been see that because some of us have been saying say Parliament is a master of its own business. On here an external body, especially the Judiciary, to direct Parliament. Quite a so obey juma. But science as some way can people among for free so usual politics and as for so much of the wisdom in this conversation appear to have been ignored by Parliament and by the Chief Justice and the team. The more pen or more and Yababe drew a point and the Judiciary tone crowd to Parliament directing them how they should proceed the way a manner near my air which to some of us is quite unfortunate and a ridiculed parliamentary democracy in this country. I free say they could have done better. And apart from the swift reaction from them, then you begin to ask yourself, say, Neama bebra koso okrum ha. You expect the speaker and answer Chief Justice in the team. Ebe show certain urgency, sense of urgency in dealing with such matters. Because yet and the President Akufo-Addo that sorry, I'll say domlivo at that time, because wow, take Kromo be a winning the Jumana domlivo making sure say Oputu government on the knife edge, yena Juma critically. Akufo-Addo finance a so a 2 domlivo at Sabanchi. A man call by force, your friend say leave. Or call ya your son office key, ya pamono. Assembly call Supreme Court, knowing there was a 10 and a papa no one, very shorter. Supreme Court needed to move in to address that particular matter urgently, no. Or more tonight issue no so ama papa no call retirement money age for retirement in a D1 sana or mokwa case no so by the time omoko release president knew who kwana to say in some na normal can because at that point na president the obey waya na papa no so ne retirement age aso o de ne ba ye na wo de ne ba ye and that was the problem etenasia ema ne lusu ne position and all the call yet yana the same Supreme Court mark example maka NDC and some other political parties at the Electoral Commission court about registration in party of district offices and as for this particular matter court Supreme Court no so san ye ho san sem hunu we bia ma date ne pa ho ansana so by the time I better asem no so do na de any se nipa no ye no ya wie and issue we call Parliament Supreme Court say on tiase say ya be ma nipa no mo constituency ya ka ho asama omo MPs declare say omo call your friend say omo independent say ya kase ye you speaker kase suspend omo free Parliament abema omo nkrofo no alake representative when the same Supreme Court Charles Lobin akwafo issue no call no ka say yen regularize omo not making sure say they will have representation in your friends in the next elections. It is the same way, it is the same Supreme Court way and a judge question issue by yenye assembly way by the same people and I'm told say judges or motana same way so emutre etna judge question case so am Jim to mu say judge question there say mo na to abama no entino onya representation a enye ye eti abro munye ni na sem no for the first time ubehu Parliament or your friends Supreme Court injante sitting member of parliament say onja na adwuma ho na onkotena fie omo injante papa no ma na kotena fie ma me say and then the same parliamentary culture say barely 1 week up the same chief justice in the team no culture and say we cannot deny people their representation abra ye culture omo say omo MPs are resigning. And the question is we yes anema we nyina na da dia uda hodi. You demonstrate to people, say, you are not a judge, you are not there for fairness, you are not there as a neutral arbiter, but you are just a political tool being used by government to maneuver the system just to get it way through. And to me, that is the major concern. It's the sheer embarrassment that Chief Justice Wayne and for a level in their way thinking, say, they are the bosses, the masters of their own job, sitting at the Supreme Court, whatever they think they can spew, you know. You should know that Ghanaians are not bunch of some idiot to be a who swallow everything. And then we've gotten to a stage that people are very critical, Ghanaians are very vocal. Issues no ba man for betro modwen. So you must be very mindful and be very reasonable. Now who say really no ba people will express their opinion. I know that Amma Supreme Court abaya pia ko social media man for the a form because people have no respect for the court and the decision. Then the sense of reasoning, you know, among for a new respect for it to be because Ababe do say as Abaye like a poodle be a power can toy around it, use it to achieve whatever your friends say adebi or mope and we are Ghana ni now kasa would we need to Supreme Court and as would we need to your court system, especially coming from a background that President Nasa rulings and decisions when you come on or no and making in the business to pack the court. And to you be aware sensible, crown out the court where you must be very mindful because already there is a notion out there that President Nasa no pack a court, you know. Sabe ya mbabe dinse mhunamano, why you su court, you know, the baye the yes or ye. And whenever you are acting, you need to take into consideration some of these concerns being expressed by the people. Court na yakasa judge in the court or take a decision where he doesn't care what happened, people say. And sa mentality no tima oh what damn because and ye need sa era numbiem and Ghana 40 court hobby. Baby we bia and Ghanaians are there because the platforms are diverse. People are even ready to come to the court and whatever that our biano. People will discuss it. So you should be very who said the missing cannot? People should be very your friends say progressive to think say the old days are and a judge can't sama obi no betimi a kire na adwen sa kind of nsemu no apa ho wenei. Whenever you give ruling, you should be willing to defend it in terms of reasoning, common sense, and logic. So public news can you stand it? These are some of the things that we need to do. But unfortunately, your court turned out to be a rogue institution and a terror arm of power, acting in a manner just you hardly and won't be in any serious, decent, democratic dispensation. As near my course, you know, Quada Dias and Krufukubi, a yabom pass a monia, dear be, say a yanim guasio, say ya dear you, yet a bayer, I course will be a yabon pan as well. Because from A to Z, Obia, not as I say, and so what so who say, yes, a Ghana for a some no more cano or more canaka. Obia niwa all criticize the Supreme Court for the main decision whether whether Speaker of Parliament acted lawfully or not. Nobody is concerned about those things, but people are concerned about the swift response. The kushia fenyo markings. And now yes, Speaker, according to some sources, I see Speaker say also file stay the decision by the Supreme Court. Are we going to see the same swift response from the Supreme Court? LGBT case has been on the desk of the Chief Justice for almost 3-4 months in here. A man timda, and we are talking about issues of priority. Issue bang, and I will cry higher priority. A chance I near my way. And we are near my way, you never do, people and now every will be cry and they go to various portals. CDD report by whether say man for GD or court man as we achieve justice, we are progressive person. You should have to be very worried about this, because the mere fact is a man for need trust and confidence in the judiciary, and no cry enough ground for the Chief Justice to go home. Our position we soon name for OBM because you are in charge, and as a man for trust what justice won't dispense man punching and I won't dispense man more and I'm cocoa nipa na wode more and nipa na would dispense have no trust in you because they think you are just a partisan tool, a political tool being used by the somebody. You need to do everything to purge that notion, to clear that doubt and create that avenue of trust. Sabe ya man for beji wedi say me wonim dia me call school na adwuma de na me di no, even though president na de me ba idea, but anya ono na me ye adwuma ma no me ye for the people of Ghana. This is something that nobody can stick in the neck agina ho aka, and it is so embarrassing, very shameful, very 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 shameful. But what can we say? It is what it is. Very shameful and very embarrassing. But nipa na ye come masem no, they don't even care. They don't even care whether your friends say Ghana for head the cost or another someone head the cost. They don't care, they don't mind. But a merry bedura will be a care no na ebiana nema kachi. We just hoping say we not lose our democracy. We just hope say Ghana for continue to have trust in the system. Hoping say the Ghanaian dream is possible, because my culture say era we are here means a very difficult era. But whatever it takes, we shall overcome. That one there be a meka. The yenamui we shall overcome. Better leadership will come along the line. It may not be today, but as ya prepare your home, na people are progressive minded. And then as a for a month for beginning to understand the issues of politics, a month for chromadrin, and now the ordinary person can sit even at the market and say ruling a Supreme Court there by Nyansa and indeed Ushema basic element of reasoning, common sense are missing. You should know that we are getting somewhere. And maybe baba people cannot bully people because when I want my certificate, when I'm a law school, you cannot bully people. It will be a question of reasoning, common sense. If you fail to act on them, people will expose you. It's the reason why the average ordinary people on various platforms are questioning the credibility, the integrity of the judiciary, of the Chief Justice and her team. And you must be living in the 12th century if you think those people don't have right to ask you that question. And my culture said the law of contempt and law, and then most of the serious dispensation, your friends said jurisprudence do not move away because we live in a liberal environment. You can't cow people to subject, you can't cow people into submission and things that you can bully them because of your superior opinion. No, modern democracy, such things do not have a space. So the best thing you can do is to do the right thing and make sure you whip the people along. Now say Nyansa no bana said decision ne bana Nyansa woma anya wo na wo beka. Now say decision ne bana Nyansa wom na manfo eba wa baso. How dare you sit somewhere and say Nyansa anima they should hail you? And that is never going to happen. So the ball is in your court. You got to do what you have to do to wash the dirty image of our judiciary. Because your judiciary, no one may catch them, is so dirty. So dirty. Zero credibility. Zero integrity. Personnel on it. Zero. So if you think people respect you, trust me, the average Ghanaian have no respect for the court today. Unless you act to do things that particular respect in Abba. So that is a message to Chief Justice. You can walk around churches and and pretend to say you are in charge, everything is okay. The people know you guys are doing the burden of your paymasters. And they don't trust you. So the onus is now on you to shift this particular burden. Sabaya, you will win the trust of the people, because in dispensing justice, the most crucial thing is the trust of the people. Or dispensing justice now for you, the whole justice dispensation becomes useless. And as any sensible person knows this. I don't want to take much of your time. So, and the question of Parliament, you know. So we are waiting as to when a Parliament member back beam na ya share proceedings, you know. Kwan ya faso abeto aso. Na dia ko do the obebi say say that by
Debi kama amena Pendream TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Ah nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, Pendream TV.